Greens are just social democrats with, I don't know, an obsession with organic compost or something. The Greens are frauds. The Greens are frauds because they fundamentally, like all social democrats, don't see that the only way this gets resolved is by one way or another, the power of the ruling class has to be stripped away and dismantled. And that means that the power, their ability to wield the power of the state has to be taken away from them. And that the old bourgeois state needs to be smashed. And the proletariat needs its own state. And what communists recognize, but social democrats don't, is that you can't have even the smallest reform these days without dismantling the power of the ruling class and their state. And none of them want to admit that, which is why all these social democrats are running around promising this reform, that reform, or the other. And when they get into office, they're told, no, you can't do that. Because in a certain respect, the ruling class is right, which is the system's too brittle for them to do that. And so what do? They roll over and die. They lie to their voters. They lie to everybody about what they're doing. They carry out a reactionary agenda, try to dress it up in green clothing, and then get booted out of office at the next election. Then spend a few years in the wilderness and come back and say, we've learned something. It's all a fraud. Social democracy is just a horrific fraud these days. Do not get invested in it. Do not get invested in it, because it's Zoran Mamdani telling you that countries that are actually going through a revolutionary process are a horrible dictatorship, and to which the only reply should be, yeah, they are a dictatorship of the working class, again, a dictatorship over capital. We are depriving the bourgeoisie of their rights. Yes, we are, just as we would deprive the US bourgeoisie of their rights, just as we would deprive them of their ill-gotten gains, just as we would deprive them of their liberty and throw them in prison for decades to come for all the crimes they've committed against the American worker and the workers of the entire world. Yes, we are in favor of dictatorship. Yes, we are in favor of tyranny. Yes, we are in favor of war to be waged against our enemies. We are for the political and economic destruction of our enemies. We are for the dismantling of this system. If you can't say any of that, then if you can't go out there and tell people that what it will take to change this system is the dismantling of the capitalist class and its state and its ability to wield state power, and we will institute a workers' state that will give our class the ability to wield power over the defeated ruling class, and that we will set up a dictatorship that works in our interests, and that we will struggle against the power of the old ruling class until it is diminished to the point where it can no longer come back. Social democrats just don't see it that way. They're frauds and opportunists at worst, outright, or at best, shall we say. The naive ones are even worse, because the ones who genuinely believe that they can obtain reforms by telling everybody to vote for Zoran Mamdani or AOCIA or, Bernie BlackRock Sanders. These are deceptive, deluded, fundamentally deranged individuals who are selling a lie to the working class.